You need more protein, a phrase we hear often, and one that can be hyped up with less technical consideration. But beyond muscle development, the rest of the body must also handle the metabolic residue from protein. It's become a kind of macronutrient currency, widely valued and pursued, and perhaps rightly so. But what's often overlooked in high protein intake is its effect on dietary acid load, which depends on the type of protein consumed. Additionally, exercise intensity can lower blood pH from 7.4 to 6.9 as a temporary response to physical exertion. So what about adding more to an ongoing environment? We explore a few key terms in the context of protein acid load. First, protein, plateau, the point where additional protein no longer increases muscle synthesis. Second, protein oxidation, when excess protein is broken down for energy or waste. And third, one-sit saturation point, the maximum protein the body can use for muscle synthesis in a single meal. Exceeding these limits may lead to greater protein oxidation, which increases metabolic acid load and strains the body's buffering systems. Sources suggest that muscle protein synthesis reaches a plateau at about 20 to 40 gram per meal, depending on body size and exercise status. Consuming more protein beyond this may not further enhance synthesis. Instead, the excess is oxidized for energy or other metabolic needs. Oxidation of excess protein is not inherently beneficial. It raises nitrogenous waste, like urea, and may add to the body's acid load, potentially straining the kidneys and other organs responsible for waste excretion and acid-base balance over time. Concentrating high protein intake into one meal is not necessarily optimal. As Layman 2024 details, spreading protein evenly across meals and including it in the first meal enhances muscle protein synthesis and benefits both muscle mass and body composition. Bottom line, a balanced diet supports optimal acid-base status. Our bodies are built to thrive on natural, whole, real foods. Proportions matter, and physical exercise influences nutritional needs. In this segment, we examine how dietary acid-base balance affects sports and athletic performance, particularly with respect to potential long-term outcomes, such as reduced muscle protein synthesis. Dietary acid load refers to the net amount of acid or base produced in the body as a result of metabolizing the foods we eat, and animal-based protein is high on the acid-forming food list. As noted by Baranauskas and others, 2020, nutrition is a key factor influencing the body's acid-base balance, a principle recognized both in traditional holistic sciences and modern sports science. Yet, this is generally not well known, but it does matter. Powdered supplements are not substitutes for real, whole foods. They're best used strategically within a balanced periodic approach where gain and good health are considered equals. Once food is digested and metabolized for energy, the body's buffer systems neutralize and excrete metabolic residues to maintain homeostasis. Sustainable muscle development is just one part of the picture. It's equally important to support the organs, such as the kidneys, liver, and lungs, that regulate acid-base balance and overall well-being. These aspects are often overlooked in popular nutrition narratives. This juxtaposition between supporting growth and neutralizing acid load warrants consideration, as it has implications for long-term health, which are very real, as explored in our last few segments on acid-based diets and their influence in relation to chronic issues. For those engaged in intense, frequent training routines, we consider dietary acid load in athletes with aim to provide additional context. Baranauskas and others, 2020, highlight that maintaining an alkaline balance is crucial for overall health and athletic performance, particularly for elite athletes during training and competition. They note that even submaximal exercise induces metabolic changes that affect acid-base balance in skeletal muscles and other tissues, as exercise intensity can lower blood pH from 7.4 to 6.9. Maintaining alkalinity in intracellular fluids allows for quicker removal of H+ hydrogen ions from muscle cells, helping to delay muscle fatigue caused by increased acidosis. Hydrogen ions, H+, are positively charged particles formed when acids dissociate in water, playing a key role in acid-base balance. They are produced during nutrient breakdown, especially from sulfur-containing amino acids, whose nutrient ash contributes to acid formation. Their accumulation in muscle cells during intense exercise leads to acidosis and muscle fatigue. Research confirms a strong link between diet composition and the resulting urine pH range, assessed by potential renal acid load from different foods. Typical Western diets, high in animal-based proteins, lead to increased metabolic acidosis. Similar patterns of high protein and fat intake are seen among athletes worldwide. Persistent acidosis and increased hydrogen ion accumulation can interfere with muscle contraction and reduce muscle protein synthesis. Additionally, to maximize muscle adaptation to exercise, athletes are advised to increase their intake of potassium and magnesium by consuming more fresh vegetables, dried fruits, etc. After intense training, the body is already in a more acidic state due to chemical changes. Consuming a highly acidic, unbalanced protein-rich meal at this time may further increase the acid load and strain the recovery process. To reduce this strain, both protein source and quantity matter, and including base forming, real whole foods becomes essential for better outcomes. As a general guideline, while there may not be a universally established ratio, recommending a higher proportion of base forming, alkaline foods, such as a 3-to-1 ratio, relative to acid-forming foods is supported, which can assist acid-base balance, especially in high-protein diets for generally healthy adults, based on individual suitability and health status. Thanks for listening in. If you found this helpful, subscribe to the channel and stay connected for more holistics.